What up, what up, what up, my Uber and delivery drivers? Welcome back to the channel, Driverman here. So we all know that there's this movie out called Stuber, starring Dave Batista, and I can't say his name, but I liked him in The Big Sick. There are some things that are accurate and some that are not. So the first thing I wanted to talk about was acceptance rate. Yes, it is important to try to keep a higher acceptance rate. There's a part in the movie where his coworker has ordered the Uber, and it's his, coworker who he doesn't like. He's kind of a douchebag, and so he's like, "Oh crap, it's this guy." But he ends up don't taking the ride anyway because it will hurt his acceptance rate. Yes, if you reject a certain number of rides, they can do things like kick you off for like 20 minutes, or maybe even deactivate you. I haven't heard of deactivation from acceptance rate myself, but I have been placed in the 20-minute timeout for rejecting too many in a row. So, second thing would be the rating, overall rating. A little too extreme in the movie. You have to just be above. It's a little more strict in real life. 4.6 is the level at which you have to be above in order to stay activated. If you go below that, then you're deactivated. In the movie, it was 4.0 that he was worried about reaching. So that one had a lot more leniency in the film. However, overall, the rating doesn't really matter that much. Who really cares? Realistically, we don't care about the rating because most of the time, as long as you're just doing your job and you're taking your customer from A to B and you get them there in one piece and you don't, divert too much, I suppose, or annoy them, you're gonna get, a decent rating. Maybe not 5, but, 4, maybe 3. You're not gonna get a bunch of 1-star ratings like he kept on getting in the film. Once in a while, that will happen, even if you do a great job, you got a great personality, whatever, you make the customer laugh, you give them gum, whatever. They're still going to give you a bad rating just because that's the way they are. They're just a crappy person. But that's once in a while, and if you have a bad experience with somebody in real life, you can always report that to Uber or Lyft and let them know, hey, this last customer was blah, 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 blah. I think they're going to give me a bad rating. Can you please not count that? Anytime I've had that, they've, been nice and discounted it when I've explained my situation. Third thing would be the Uber Pool, which was kind of funny. I've had Uber Pool rides before myself. And yeah, they're not really beneficial to anyone except for Uber. It's a way for them to just make more money off of you, having to backtrack and pick up more people and give, a certain number of drop-offs, more drop-offs for, the same amount of money, or, well, actually less money when you think about it because the customer is paying less for each ride. So it's great for Uber, but it's not really, beneficial for yourself. Maybe, yeah, somewhat for the customer because they save a little bit of money. Yeah, but a lot of people, it's funny, they'll get it and then some people don't know. Like in the movie, that was very accurate portrayed where Batista didn't know what Uber Pool was. What the heck is this? And in my experience of a story that I tell, apparently this guy that I picked up with this girl, he didn't know it either. I have a separate video about that. Anyways, yeah, Batista ends up kicking out these 2 girls, and it's funny because he's like, dude, we've got like 2, hot girls in the car. And so he's upset that he's kicking out, the 2 hot girls. Because, I mean, if you're a straight dude who doesn't want to have 2 cute girls riding in your car, even if it, doesn't mean anything's going to happen, it's just nice to be in the company of beautiful women. So that one was fairly accurate as far as the way that it works, but his explanation of his excitement for it was a little too much. Okay, next thing would be, it's true that most of the time if a customer doesn't want to talk, they probably won't sit in the front. That's very realistic to real life. If the customer doesn't want to engage with you, usually they'll sit in the back and be on their phone, whatever. They don't usually sit up front. Sitting up front is kind of like nonverbal code of like, hey, I'm okay with talking and making a new friend, which is portrayed very realistically. Absolutely well done on that note. Next thing would be a customer possibly being like kind of demanding, which can definitely be happen. Batista was starting to kind of like lose his patience with him, be like, hey, let's go, okay, let's go, and getting kind of like aggressive. In that case, you know, in real life, if that happens, you should never deal with that. If I would have encountered somebody like that, like sitting in the front or back or whatever, just telling me, hey, let's go, trying to like put me in my place, adios. I don't think so. And yes, I do realize, I know what you're thinking. Oh yeah, Batista's a freaking 300-pound muscle-bound monster. Yes, he is. And if I were to encounter somebody like that sitting next to me, oh no, you wouldn't, you know, you wouldn't say that, Jose. You wouldn't kick them out. You would just do what you're told. No, because realistically, if I'm saying yes, then I'm letting the person know, hey, that's okay to treat me like that. You should never do that. Never let somebody put you together like that when you're an Uber driver. Never, never, never let somebody treat you like that. We teach people how to treat us. That's something that we need to show people through our actions, through our response to their behavior. And last thing I'm going to mention would be the timer, the meter. Yes, there isn't one. That's very true. In the movie, Batista tells him, hey, wait here, just keep the meter running. I'm going to be in and out in just a few minutes, you know, to go and catch the bad guy. He's right. There is no meter. It's very true. With Uber and Lyft, there is no meter. There's no, you know, we don't get charged. You don't get charged by the minute. Well, technically you do. I think it's like 10, 15 cents a minute, but it's really not worth it. You know, that's way less than minimum wage. No, that's not how we make our money. So there is no real meter. Realistically, it's not a taxi. Uber and Lyft basically charge mainly by distance. That is how that is where most of your fare comes from. That is how you mainly get charged. Instead, that is basically, for the most part, what we get paid based off of is the majority, the bread and butter of our pay is distance. That's how Uber and Lyft work. So yes, the movie got that spot on. There is no meter. No, it's not running. We get paid when we're moving, not when we're sitting still. So those are the things that I noticed from the movie. Thanks for watching, guys. Hit that red subscribe button if you haven't yet and the bell notification, and I will keep on keeping you updated with weekly tips and other useful information. Have a lovely week.